fine. I took a picture and I circled the tree. I said, "Do you mind if we remove this?" Because I was like, "That is going to be such a big difference. I could send you the before and after." And it was a
Mm,
huge difference. And I
mm.
got a chainsaw
Yeah.
and I like doing yard work myself and I took that tree down. So,
Wow, you did it
um
yourself? Look at
I
you.
did.
Oh,
I did.
wow. My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is the Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome
Okay.
back to the Closing Table. My name is Kevin McIntosh. I am your host, and joining us on this very special episode, we have the pleasure of speaking with real estate agent Katie Wright. How you doing, Katie?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. Take two, by the way.
Yeah.
So let's get straight into your experience and your insights as a real estate agent. You've held multiple positions from administrative assistant to scheduler, worked your way up to associate broker and licensed real estate agent. Can you just talk about or describe the path that it took for you to get to where you are now?
um so in my 20s, I was in the service industry. So just
Mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm,
add that, so I did waitressing and bartending, and then I did home care scheduling and administrative work. So completely different, completely different business. And,
mm-hmm.
I was in the office and I was handling the day-to-day activities, and it was great, but it was, the same thing every
Yeah.
day. So I definitely like moving and grooving and different a different day every day keeps me happy, I
There
guess.
it is.
And I got into real estate because I felt like there wasn't, as long as I worked hard and put in the energy and the time and commitment, that I could grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I started on a team, Michael Perna team in Novi, and I was there for 2 years. And I first 90 days was cold calling and
Mm,
showing assistance, just getting to know the business. So I
right.
thought I loved the team. I got a lot of knowledge and experience from being there, and then went on to an independent agent at a new brokerage, and then I've got my associate broker license and ended up developing my own team.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful story. One thing you mentioned in that is how real estate, no day is pretty much the same. It can vary, ups, downs. And that leads me to this quote: real estate is a real roller coaster, pure excitement one moment and total disappointment the next. You may be familiar with that quote. I want you to give us an example of pure excitement in your career, a moment of pure excitement, and then give us an example of total disappointment in your career.
I think that there are, in the beginning of real estate, the total disappointment hit harder
Mm,
and really affected me, like it does all
right.
agents probably.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, I mean, they're every day. I mean, we have ups and downs every day. So now I've gotten really good at just going with the flow, and a lot of
Okay.
stuff doesn't really phase me. Because I've gone through a lot of disappointment and a lot of really great days. I was actually talking to an agent on my team and last week, and I went to a listing appointment, but it was, I didn't think that she was going to sign. She had said that she was going with a family friend and she just wanted my opinion. So I told her I was going to just stop in and give her my opinion, but I was going to be
Mm-hmm.
prepared because I did want her to work with me. And so I had
Okay.
brought everything as far as the listing agreement. And when I walked out, I mean, I had a signed agreement and she was excited. And I was talking to a girl on my team and I was like, Man, I was not expecting that. That is a good high for today. So, um, and it's, I mean, the good is good. The bad can be pretty bad, but I've definitely learned to roll with the punches as far as the bad goes. So back to your question, pure excitement would be getting over $1 million purchase under contract.
Mm,
Pretty exciting there. And
yeah, I bet.
then, and then this happened last week. And then
Oh.
uh, total disappointment would be that deal falling through, and that happened this week. So, you know,
Oh.
I've had deals fall through at the closing table. That happened once. So that was
Mm.
pretty rough.
Oh.
That was in the beginning, and I had been working with somebody for over 6 months, showing her lots of homes, and then something was said at the closing table that rubbed her the wrong way, and she did not want to follow through and was willing to,
What?
yeah, yeah. It's like, all right, well, and that's the thing, you work really hard and there's no guarantee in anything. So,
Oh my
but,
goodness.
but as long as you continue and keep pushing, it all works out and you can be successful.
Katie, you got to take me back to that. How did you react when you have a client that you work with 6 months decide to back out at the closing table? What was your initial reaction? How did you deal with that?
Um, Fortunately, I've always been able to, contain any
Mm.
frustration, and
Yeah.
I just, I'm working with my client and I want to represent her the best way possible. So if
Right.
that's what she wants, then and she understands the repercussions of it, then and she's okay with it, then I'm going to support her. So that's what I did. I was just
Whew.
like, okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah. I guess you just got to let it roll off your shoulder like water on a duck. I
Yep,
don't know where I
yep.
heard that quote from, but anyway, let's
I've
talk
never
about your
heard that.
current market. Let's talk about your current market, Katie. The market
Okay.
that you are serving. Can you describe the current market that you're serving for people who've never been there? Paint a picture.
So Oakland County.
Hmm.
I love Oakland County. I grew up here, and I mean, it's the suburbs and it has great schools.
Hmm.
What I love about it is we have tons of lakes around. So, I mean, I I would say, half of the neighborhoods have lake access somewhere, which is really a great
Mm.
feature. Um, we have parks and lots of restaurants and shopping, and it's not far from the city if you want to go down to Detroit
Yep.
and go to a game or
Yep.
so it's 45-minute drive there, not far from up north. There's plenty to do around here. I think that the people in general, everybody's, you know, it's a friendly area.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Okay. You are featured in Real Producers of Oakland County. Speaking of Oakland County, in March of 2022, just a year ago, as a matter of fact. Congratulations, first
Hmm.
and foremost. But you
Thank
shared
you.
a story in there. You shared your story in there. What do you think would? Who do you think would best benefit from reading your story?
Um, well, I think that for me, I didn't have a whole lot of direction in my 20s, and for somebody who maybe didn't have a plan set and wasn't sure what they want to do
Mm.
for their future, maybe it could be a good story for them because that's how it was for me. I I found real estate and really I love it. I'm
Mm.
passionate about it and I'm excited. And I love that there are so many different avenues you can go into in regards to real estate, whether it's growing a team or focusing on listings or, property management or investing. and renovating homes. I mean, there's so many things that you can do in real estate.
Mm,
So, uh, in regards to that story, I think that you don't have to have a degree and a 4 year or college debt, for something
yeah,
that maybe I feel like a lot of
yeah.
people I know, they go to school and they get a degree and they're not really sure if they really want to
Preaching
do
to the
that for the
choir.
rest of their life.
Yeah.
So I know that that can be challenging.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and that
true.
it's okay to kind of explore different things before finding something that you love.
Facts. I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
Mhm.
Life is gonna throw a million curveballs. I mean, I think most of the people that we've talked to, either here on the closing table or on previous platforms, we've asked real estate agents, "What did you want to be when you grow up?" A significant portion of them did not say that they want to be a real estate agent when they grew up, but life kind of just took them into that. You see what I'm saying? So that
Yeah,
I think that just speaks volumes because I mean you can have a plan, but it's not going to always go that way. And some people don't have
right,
plans, like you said. So then
right.
you just got to
Yeah,
figure things out. So
right.
one of the focuses that you mentioned just recently, you said focusing on expanding your team. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you said this in another platform, another podcast. You have plans to expand your team, and transition, your duties from an agent into more of an advisory and leadership role. I
Mhm.
don't know if you've completely made that transition, but how has the transition been going? How's the progress, or how is it, or how was it? Can you describe where you are in that stage?
I would say that I'm making progress towards that,
Okay.
and I love real estate, and like working with clients, but having a team, I don't. I provide leads for them, and I provide guidance, and they can call me 24/7, and if I can, answer, I will. And I
Hmm.
always I typically always answer and just, whether it's just, hey, this situation came up, how should I handle it? What should I say to this buyer or seller? Do you have any advice on that? I think that that's super useful for them, and
Mm.
that's what I've been trying to do. I don't take any of the leads, so
Mm.
I um I want them to have all of the leads. I do listings and I do work with a couple buyers, but all of them are past clients or, friends and family.
Right, right. Oh,
So,
okay.
so right now we have Caitlin, Kate, and Lindsay on the team. And Ashley, Ashley is she's part time, so we're talking to see if maybe she wants to go full time. Definitely think that in regards to real estate, you need to put 120 into it in order
Mm.
to see a return, and it does take some time, and you got to
True.
be prepared for that. But as far as the girls we have, I do want to get more teammates and I do want to step back even more but I'm working on now a a boot camp, if you will, for like
Mm.
new agents and just trying to have things in place because when I had Caitlin start last year, she um it just takes a lot of time. It's
Yeah.
just me and I want to make sure that there's just, every day is something new. So for somebody who hasn't had that experience, being able to be there for them is important. And I want to do that. But I think in order to expand even bigger, I would need to have some systems in place in
Mm.
regards to training.
True. True.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a small business owner myself, like that's the real juice of it. Like creating systems so that
Hmm.
things are not only scalable, but you can integrate automation into it and all types
Right.
of things. So yeah, it's creating that system. I completely get it. I understand it's a process and things of that nature. But like I said, I know that you mentioned that in a previous podcast episode, so I want to bring that up just to see how you're doing in regards to. I'm
Yeah.
We're gonna kind of
Thank
revisit
you.
that later on. So let me continue
Yeah.
because you and your team are already obviously doing great things. If we're speaking on numbers, you culminated about $30 million in volume in 2022, which is
Yes.
crazy to me, by the way. $30 million. Just saying that, it just costs a lot of money just to say that. But can you describe last year from your perspective as a top producing agent, what it took to generate that $30 million in volume?
I 30 million is great, but I think that why I've grown every year, and I think that whether this is good or bad, I'm
Hmm.
always thinking that, we could do better. And
There you
so
go.
this year is 40 million, um and I just think that there is still a lot of room to grow. And
Yeah.
we did well last year by following up. I think that we've tightened up some systems and just uh, implemented like day to day plans in order to do better this year. Um,
Gotcha.
in regards to like our CRM and having all of our tasks up to date, making sure that we're staying in touch with people. We have for this year, I already have everything in place to send out to past clients. A part of, you know, keeping clients that we love and we've gotten close to throughout the process, because it's a personal buying residential real estate is it's a personal thing. And so
Hmm.
a lot of our clients, um, will you become friends with and staying in touch with them. And so they remember, 5 years from now to call
Right.
you. Or if a question pops up, they call you. So we have stuff in place for the year, which I didn't last year, on like a schedule on what clients are getting what, sent out this spring or summer or fall. So just trying to tighten up everything.
There it is. All right. Well,
Mhm.
whatever you're doing, it worked. 30 million. I mean, that is,
Thank
you
you.
gotta tip my hat off to that. That's a beautiful
Thank you.
thing. And it's even great that you're already thinking we can do better. We can do more. 40 millions to go now.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. I got some numbers to
Thank
throw at
you.
you, some more numbers. In a recent survey,
Okay.
these numbers, by the way, coming from National Association of Realtors, U.S. Census Bureau, things of that nature, Bureau of Labor Statistics. In a recent survey, it was found that 76% of buyers said they'd buy a house they deemed ugly on the outside if the inside checked their boxes. Now, what factors makes the property more valuable? Is it the renovated inside with the outdated outside, or is it the renovated outside with the outdated inside? If that makes sense.
It does make sense, and I could see why people would say that because,
Mm.
inside the house, it's gonna be more costly, I think, and another part of
Mm.
it is a lot of people at least I like doing outdoor work, when it comes to, like, yard work or planting bushes or painting, the front door or making my own shutters. Like this is stuff that people could do. Like you don't have to be like a licensed contractor.
Sure.
And the trades are so busy these days that
Yeah.
I've heard horror stories about people, contractors not showing up for the work that needs to be done and someone's
Yeah.
got half the kitchen done. So it's more costly, and then on top of it, you have to live in the house. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you can live in the house and get work done outside or do it yourself as opposed to the other way around.
Good point. Good point.
Mhm.
Good point.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I
I
never I
could
never
see
thought
that.
of it like that. And
Yeah.
then also you do have, see, this is what I'm thinking, right? When you're when you're appraising a home,
Mhm.
right? and I feel like I'm gonna say something stupid, so correct me. That's why I'm glad I have a professional
Yeah.
here. When you're appraising a home, I know an appraiser is going inside and out, but I feel like the outside of the home as it looks compared, I mean, relative to the neighborhood, I feel
Hmm.
like that would make the biggest difference, right? So, like, you have ugly sidings and a falling out roof, but the inside is just completely remodeled. Like, I feel like the outside factors would way more on bringing the value down than if your inside was tore up, but the outside looked fantastic like the rest of the neighborhood. Does that sound crazy?
I let me make sure that I'm following what you said. So, in regards to an appraiser, the outside of a home is going to be a bigger factor than the inside.
Well, not even from the because the appraiser obviously has to do their job inside and out, but
Yeah.
from an outsider perspective, like my own,
Yeah.
who isn't an appraiser or a real estate agent, I'm
Yeah.
thinking the outside being renovated and taken care of would be more valuable than the inside because on the outside, people are driving through the neighborhood and they're looking at homes in the aesthetic of the neighborhood, which
Right.
I guess would bring the value up more than if they drove past and you had the only raggedy house, but the inside was nice.
So 99% of buyers are looking online and they're only getting that, I think that they're seeing the inside of the home. If I feel like rarely are people driving by to look for a home for sale. I don't know if I'm following your question.
Okay. It's not even really a question. I guess it's just really a thought because I would
Yeah.
just think, if I'm gonna take priority and if I have a home that's in
So
a
you're saying that you would take priority in the outside?
you would think though, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Does that sound crazy?
I think it's a big difference if like there are cars on the front yard and there's, broken, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's
Okay.
really, really bad, then then maybe that would definitely play a
I
difference.
feel
But if
you.
if there's just um if it's just like it
Like
needs a
outdated
paint
siding or
job,
something.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
outdated
Okay.
siding and it needs like there's chipping paint or there are improvements that can be made, but I'm trying to mean the roof, I don't know.
Yeah, I know the
I see
roof is a
what you're
big deal.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying definitely, but I think that there's an extent that if it's like really bad, um then somebody might care more about the outside.
Mm. Yeah, that's what I would think too. I don't know. Let me get out of this
But
this this weird.
if you if you hire a good real a realtor that's going to advise you, I'm going to say, okay, the first photo is the key. So we
Right.
need to do what we can in order
Right.
to make this front photo as best as possible. So
There you go.
remove all of this junk and put it in the back, put it behind the house right now. And let me get a good photo of the front. And I mean, I really go above and beyond for my clients in
Uh-oh.
regards to situations like this. I had a past client, and he had a house in Waterford, and it was a really nice house. And actually, it had everything on the inside was done and updated when he bought it. The outside, there was just one big bush that was literally covering like the front shot. And he had
Ah.
moved with his fiance to the west side of the state, and I went over there, and I was like, gonna ask you a question. And I was like, do you mind if and I took a picture and I circled the tree. I said, do you mind if we remove this? Because I was like, that is gonna be such a big difference. I could send you the before and after. And it was a
Mm.
huge difference. And I got
Mm.
a chainsaw
Yeah.
and I like doing yard work myself and I took that tree down. So
Wow, you did it
um
yourself? Look at
I
you.
did.
Oh,
I did.
wow. Okay.
So yeah, that house went quick. It went over asking and it made a difference.
Nice,
for
nice.
sure.
Great example.
So,
I'm glad you brought that up.
mhm,
That answers
yeah,
it pretty much. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice, nice. Katie, you're such a great person just from our conversation. But based on what I
Thanks.
know from you also, you donate a percentage of your commission for every transaction in each of your clients' name to the Children's Miracle Network. Amazing, first off. Let me
Yes.
clap for that.
Thank
Why
you.
is it important to you to dedicate a portion of your earnings to this specific organization?
Well, I think it's great that Remax has this organization in place. They've been involved with each other for 50 years.
Mm,
I think that's a great thing about Remax is that they have a charitable organization that uh, we can be a part of, and it's easy. You know, we go online and um, direct a portion of it to Children's Miracle Network. And I mean, everybody loves kids, and I love kids, and they're our future, and they're innocent, precious beings, and I want what's best for
yeah,
them. So,
there it is.
I mean, kids and animals, I would like to donate to. So, I think that in order to keep, you need to give, and
Mm,
I my dad's always told me that. So,
mm.
try to live by that.
Right, right. I did see
Mhm.
that quote. It stood
Mhm.
out to me too. I agree with that 100%. You get out what you put in, ultimately, in anything.
Right. Right, right. And I don't ever wanna be tight with
Yeah.
money or,
Mhm.
greedy.
S-
So,
Obstacles in your career. Are you facing any right now? What challenges are you currently up against right now? How do you plan on overcoming them?
I think that the real estate market, in general is inconsistent. You know, that we're
Mm,
every year is every month, every week, interest rates go up, interest rates go down. I think
yep,
that um, there's always challenges, and I think that we had to adjust to a crazy seller's market the beginning of last year.
yep.
We couldn't get an offer accepted because we had to go 50,000 over our clients, and they couldn't get a house. It was just
Woo!
crazy. And like January and February, we did not have a lot of deals under contract just because, and it was looking pretty you know, dark at that time. But I I think that the great thing about the business and an important thing about the business is just
Mhm.
adjusting and adapting to the real estate market and staying informed with how things are going, the trends, and
Yeah,
um, interest rates went down, and across the United States, home sales increased by 14%. So,
right.
you know, the interest rate definitely plays a part. And, our low inventory right now, I believe, is
Mhm.
because everyone's got, a really great interest rate right now. So they and don't want to buy a new home unless they have to.
Correct.
Uh, so, ooh, lost my air lost my
That's fine.
AirPod. um, so yes, I think that there's always challenges, and I think just being informed and adapting and adjusting to the market is going to help
Yeah.
us be successful.
Yeah, you definitely touched on it because with the housing shortage and the interest rates and the weather changing, there's so many different factors that are going to
Hmm.
change and
Yeah, the
and
weather.
basically, determine how the market is going to go. With that being said, interest rates going up and down. I believe they dropped recently if I'm not mistaken, but the housing shortage, interest rates, and the weather all
Hmm.
approaching coming up. Let's just say in the next 3 months, by the time summer gets here, what is your predictions for real estate in your market?
I think it's going to be a busy summer.
Mm,
I know that my team and I are going to do well because of our preparation during the slower season. I think that more homes are gonna be coming out, and I think that, I understand that the interest rate increase has knocked out some buyers from being able to purchase,
Correct.
uh, but there's still a lot of buyers that need homes. So,
Hmm.
um, I'm expecting a busy year, my
Mm,
team and I. Uh, and I think it's gonna be like every summer. I mean, that's how it
right.
is in Michigan. It's, every spring, summer, it's fairly active.
Gotcha. Uh. And that's
Mhm,
interesting because, like we just mentioned, obviously interest rates are a factor. And I think another big factor that isn't highlighted enough is the housing shortage. I'm literally
mhm,
getting that same message from realtors across the country, not just Michigan, the
mhm.
country. They're saying there's a housing shortage. So, with a housing shortage, interest rates fluctuating pretty much higher than usual, I guess you can say, and people also gaining a lot of equity in their homes over the last few years. You
Mhm.
think, or your insight is that you still see sellers coming out of those homes, cashing in on that equity, selling them, and buyers demand pretty much staying where it is and just pretty much flushing over that those sellers' homes.
I mean, yeah, I do.
I can see that.
It's kind of, I hear from a lot of people, waiting on the market to change and waiting on,
Mm-hmm.
just wait. And you've been saying that for a while.
Yeah.
So uh, I, it's unfortunate because I don't like buyers being in the position where they have to compete so much.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
definitely think it's different than last year. It's slowed down from what I'm seeing, and there aren't buyers going to the great lengths that they were last year, which I think was uh I didn't think I just feel bad for those buyers that
Yeah.
uh you know way overpaid
Yeah.
because they're stuck there. And
Yeah.
and we try to tell them, we and it's hard because you're in the position, you're like, talk to, this is what would probably be a winning offer, but I want you to know the, risk associated with it,
Yeah.
and buyers still wanted to do it sometimes. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a tough situation, but hopefully it settles down a little bit this year. And um, but I mean, property values haven't dropped. I've seen them go down a bit, but not not substantially. So
No, no.
yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
going to be,
100%.
yeah. I mean, with the housing shortage, I think that it's still going to be a pretty demanding real estate market, and sellers are going to do well if they want
Mm,
to, if they're in the position to move.
yeah.
Yeah.
The ball will definitely be in the seller's court. For sure, for
Hmm.
sure. If you're asking me come spring, summertime, which we're technically already in the spring season, but okay.
Yeah.
So, Katie,
Hmm.
retirement. Do you ever see yourself retiring, air quotes? And what does retirement, air quotes, mean to you or look like to you?
So, retirement. Yes, I think that I would love retirement one day for sure.
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of the winter months. I would love to be a snowbird and go down to Florida during the
Okay.
winter. Um, so that would be part of my retirement for sure.
Beautiful.
And spend time with family. I'd like to travel. I'm trying to work as hard as I can in order to make that happen.
There you go.
Hmm.
There you go.
And have
Nice.
it not be, there's like my parents, a lot of people are getting a social security check and can't get by with that.
Yeah.
So I think that thinking about retirement now is super important.
Facts. I think I read
Hmm.
somewhere they said Social Security is going to run down in like another 10 years or something like that. That's just, I mean,
Would
not
not
like
be
I was
surprised.
looking forward to the benefits, but still, I was like, man, that is crazy to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah,
With
I get it.
inflation,
I
I
get
mean,
it.
you can't, I mean, and the
Oh
cost of
yeah.
medicine and all that,
Mm-hmm.
it's just terrible. I don't want to put that on my kids, and um, so I'm gonna make
Mm.
sure that I prepare.
That's a great perspective. I'm glad you're even thinking
Hmm.
about that. All right. Well,
Hmm.
thank you so much, Katie. We appreciate your
Hmm.
time, your insights, your experience, and sharing it with us here on the closing table. Before we get out of here, if you have any last words and or want to tell the people how they can reach out to you, please do so now.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I would love to help you. My team and I, anywhere in Metro Detroit area. We do focus on Oakland County, but also service Wayne and Macomb. You can call me at 248-403-3182. And if you are an agent looking to get into the business and would love a one-on-one mentor to guide you through the crazy ways of real estate, you're welcome to reach out as well.
Absolutely. Katie Wright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on the closing table, Katie. For our YouTube audience, looking at you right there in your face, I need you to do us a favor. If you got into this part of the video, you have to hit the like button. Okay, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button also, and also subscribe to our channel. And if you're listening, Apple, Spotify, any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Like, give us a 5-star rating, and also subscribe for our latest content. Katie, I'd like to leave our audience with a question before we get out of here. Here's my question. When you are purchasing a home, you have to put some sweat equity into. Would you rather put money into the outside of the property or the inside of the property? Take some time to think about that, audience. Drop your comments. Other than that, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank
Katie. I
you.
appreciate it.